What's up? It's your boy Anecdotal, and today we're gonna talk about the Bifrost event. That's right, man. The Bifrost event is out currently right now, and there's really not much to do with the Bifrost event that you really need to pay attention to, but your boy isn't bad. All right, within at least the leadership boards, I'm somewhere in the top 50. If it's regional, I'm somewhere in the top 100. So I mean, and I've played this event a little bit of times, so this is kind of why you should listen. If not, don't. Doesn't really matter. This is the things that you do need to, of course, be careful for. Is you need to know that you need to upgrade everything. The first few times I played this game mode, I didn't really pay attention to much, and I only upgraded things to a max of 5 because that's as far as you can go unless you upgrade everything else to 5. So of course, the first thing you want to do is get as far as you can. Day 1 matters more than anything else for the Bifrost event because it determines the amount of prizes that you get every single day during your free chest open. So these are all the stats I got, and the way that I like to do it is I like to work on my mages first, get everything to 5, then work on my warriors, followed by my tanks, and finally my support, because that's who I feel really needs the stats. You can do it a little differently if you would like. You can go warriors first and then tanks, and then another form of DPS, and then you can finally go with supports. Honestly, I feel supports need to be the very last thing that you work on because your main carry will not be a support. It's going to be a DPS, which means it's either going to be a warrior or a mage. So up them and make sure that you look at the colors, right? Tanks, for instance, have 3 red little cube thingies that upgrade them, and then 1 green, right? And then the bottom 2 are always going to be blue. So once you do that, once you finish the blue for one of your type of characters, move on to the next one. If there are no more red upgrades for your character, move on to the next class of character and start upgrading them there. Because remember, every single stat that you upgrade will give you a total basic attack boost. So which ones do I usually not care for? So here I like Shadow Orch and I like Viridian, but I feel that I have better red characters than I do green characters. So I'm probably going to go ahead and go for this. Now remember, you got to pay attention to how much you lose, right? Are you getting completely wiped out? Are you getting kind of close? Did your main characters get to proc their skills? Because if they didn't, and all you need to do is try to hope that they do, you want to change where they are in the game. You want to see where in your formation is everything being crumbled and breaking apart. So usually the best thing to do is to hide your DPS behind a strong, powerful tank. Now here, my strong, powerful tank is Typhoon. So I want to try to have my DPS there. But if it's not a really big problem, if I'm trying to keep my DPS alive and that's not working out, it's always nice to have a healer there. So as you can see, I might have lost 2 or 3 times, but on my third, I was finally able to proc. My damage was finally able to be shown, and I was finally able to win. So try your match 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Look at why you're losing, and if you lost and all of your attacks were able to proc, then you just don't have enough DPS, and you either need to have a different team, change up your formation, or just wait to upgrade again. So here, I don't really know. I don't feel like I could actually win. I probably can't, and as you can see, there is a pretty big disparity between 160 million BP to the 42 or like 52 BP that I have now, like 50, what is it, like 52 mil? So I'm pretty far away, and I'm definitely punching up a weight class, and all of you should be too. If your BP is close to your enemy BP, there's definitely a problem within your formation. Also, you can click and see where other people that are around your level and see what stage they're stuck on. And if you see that there's a disparity between stages, like wow, you're really far behind everyone else that's around your same level, then it's time for you to either look at your formation or perhaps even look at how you're building your characters and see if you're building them right. So the general rule of thumb is to try to have 2 tanks in front, if not 2 tanks, 1 tank and 1 warrior, and in the back you either have 3 DPS, a healer and 2 DPS, or a healer, or if not a healer, a support that's a buffer along with 2 DPS. You could always, of course, do it whatever you want, man. You could have straight warriors everywhere. But the only thing is, you want to make sure that they somehow complement each other. So sometimes, or most of the times, I like to have 2-way characters. And of course, remember, Marmaduke that I have here, he might be a real tank. but what he really has is DPS. And he doesn't have the greatest survivability, right? Unless he's in his warlord mode. But you don't want him to be one of those first people to die. So sometimes treat him more as a DPS if you are using him as a UR character, and have him behind a tank. Because really all you really want is to have everyone do some sort of crazy chip damage and have him finish them off. Because if you didn't know, if the enemy has around 33% health or something like that, he can one-shot that opponent. But it looks like I don't have the DPS. My Lucifer just isn't getting the job done. And even though I know Loki can do some damage, he's also more of a chip damage person. So that's why my formation was like that. Lucifer kicks them to the back and does some chip damage, while Loki adds to that chip damage and keeps everybody occupied. He's almost like a two-way tank DPS type character. And then Lucifer would be the big boy that knocks everybody down if their HP is low enough. But I just didn't quite have it. Now, you could always decide on what your best tribe is or what your best type of character is, and then choose what to focus on from there. Big people that really help are Morgan and Odin. So if you don't have those two characters, especially Morgan really keeps you alive, go for it. Now, this character right here, the only reason I'm trying to get her is because she's like a portrait person. So I can get passive stats for having higher level portraits on everybody, including that. I want to up my artifact. So I have a fan artifact that gives me attack, but I'm not getting the full potential of what could be the attack I get from that character because I don't have enough characters that I fully achieved potential with because I didn't max out their iconic weapon. And once I do, you will see one additional number there for that fan, and I'll get that much more attack. And since I really care for attack, I'm doing that. Also, I'm pretty much done building most of the characters that I want to, so it's not a bad idea to get 1 or 2 extra copies of a character so that I could go ahead and awaken their weapon, and then it will increase not only the portrait. Oh my god, what is this? Ooh, but also increase my artifact thing. But look at this. I got a UR. See, dude, every time I always get lucky. Oh, Oda. Oda. Woo. Oda Obunaga, baby. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oda Nobunaga. Oh. Woo. If you didn't know, Oda Nobunaga is arguably the second best character in the game. Some even say #1 for DPS, man. It's him. And it's Amaterasu, bro. So all I need is one more, and I can finally start upgrading his iconic weapon. The second that happens, I'm gonna start working on him as a UR character, and just there. Sure, I'm not gonna get his max potential, but ooh, it's gonna go in.